Money, money, money. Money, that's all I ever hear in this house.
He can learn the hitters.
Runners go, swing and a miss. Tim Lincecum has his first career complete game.
Oh, sorry. Lastly, I'd like to thank my teammates. For them, without them, none of this would have been possible.
Coming down the neck.
All right. Okay. Hey, everybody. It wouldn't be a Hum Daddy's Classic without a frozen
54.
I'm trying to get hurt injuries, that kind of thing. And, he grew up learning the same thing and, just really taking a lot of pride in that. And he passed it on to me and my brother. So that's where I learned.
Is that okay there?
Yeah, I'll just give you a rough demonstration of that. Coming down, make sure I'm getting over and picking up that dollar.
Using 1 run on 3 hits. Struck him out on 3 pitches.
Cheers, standing, all cheering. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Alonso. Swinging a drive into left center field. Blanco waiting. He puts it away. And
2 down in the ninth. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball grounded to second. Panic's got it. The throw to first. It's a no-hitter.
Welcome.
Jake sneaking in a snack right on the nick of time.
Oh, yeah.
Power up, baby.
I'm not sneaking anything. I'm going to have a protein bar while we buffer. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hum Daddies. I'm Jake Lucas. Yield Jipper is right there. He's on the big screen. Jippy, you're there we go. All right, now we are 3 men on 3 screens. Combined, we make 1 screen. We're the Hum Daddies. Happy Thursday night. Hope you enjoyed that Knicks ass kicking of the Cavs. Joe Starkey, good to see you in whatever the hell kind of kit that is. And we'll have you explain it.
You don't know?
Oh, Bull Durham.
There it is.
Is that the hat, too?
No.
Okay.
Don't have the hat. I used to have the hat. It looks like the Denver Broncos hat, but this is the Memphis hat.
Nice. What's up, Gypsy? You're a little grainy, a little fuzzy. Did you restart the computer today?
No. Let me see if I can figure out why. I feel like I look good. I feel like I look great. Hold on. I'm pulling someone's got to be on the podcast and the Hum Daddies network that has a grainy screen. It's very important.
Okay. All right. Well, it's going back and forth, but you can be the designated Zach on Mars tonight. So welcome everyone to our 55th official episode. We've had special editions. Of course, there's Heat Check. We've had our Paulie and Ashcon. We've had Paulie and Ted Ramey. We've had a Niner. We've had a number of different kinds of episodes. This is the 55th official Hum Daddies episode. So Dave Greenstein, right there, Yield Jipper, had the brilliant idea, in my opinion, to make it a Tim Lincecum themed episode. And with all the negativity swirling around the Giants currently, why the hell not do something positive to make us think of good times as Giants fans? Because there's been 1 winning season in 10 years, and this one looks like the worst of all the mediocrity we've been faced with in the last decade. So with that, introduce what your train of thinking was, David. Please.
Yeah. Giants suck this year. It's inevitable that they're going to have streaks of some promise, and then they'll come back down to earth and they'll get swept by the Diamondbacks. It's just the nature of this team. So why not celebrate some good times? The Freak, as we all remember him. And listen, I also thought, there's other freaks in the sporting world. We're watching Wembayama really just take over the NBA spotlight. We continue to see these amazing athletes, whether they're small and dynamic or they're long and lengthy. And I just thought we'd have a little fun talking about the freak that was Tim Lincecum and see what else other freaky things come out of this episode. We'll see what the chat line comes up with.
For sure. It seems like we got RT Elmer, the Heat Check theme song creator, is on our chat. I saw Dom Peralta on there. What's up, Dom? I saw Zachariah, host of Heat Check, a fellow Hum Daddy. What's up, fella? And a few randos out there. So thanks for watching. And by the way, I just want to say real quick, RIP Kyle Busch, a household name in the NASCAR. Died tragically today out of nowhere. He's younger than us. He just turned 41 this month. So very sad. 2 kids, very shocking death today in the sports world. So I'm wearing my NASCAR jersey here, established in 1948. Not a huge NASCAR guy, but I mean, that dude was a household name, and that's hard to do in a sport that not many people in the Bay Area watch. So RIP Kyle Busch.
News to me, Jake. What happened?
So he was supposed to race this weekend. This morning he got he canceled for the weekend. Said he was pulling out of the race. Said he had some serious illness. 4 hours later, Kyle Busch is dead. So I don't know what happened. Details are probably still coming out right now, but just kind of a shocking thing that happened today.
Wow.
So yeah, support for his family. That's very tragic. So just want to throw that out there. We're thinking about you guys in the sporting world. But okay, with that, sorry to be such a downer to start, but just felt we had to say it. Let's go into the Giants, who are in a pretty downward spiral right now of a season. It's their worst start, I believe, to a season in a number of decades. I forgot the exact year, but I heard it yesterday. 20-30 is not a good start. That's where we are right now. Buster Posey had an interview on KMBR.
Let's listen to it.
Oh, do you want to hear some?
We had Bob Brenly on this week. Of course, great Giant, hum baby, the whole deal. And he said, I look at the Giants and I see too much clowning around. It was kind of a quote that went viral. Willie Adames is the easy one to talk about because he's a jovial guy, and he was talking to Mookie Betts when he forgot how many outs there were. You hear a guy like Bob Brenly, who won a World Series with the Diamondbacks in 2001, say, I see too much clowning around with the Giants. Does it make you pay attention that somebody on the outside is saying that about your team?
Well, to be honest with you, I had not heard Bob say that, and honestly, it doesn't do me much good to listen to outside opinions. I have a lot of respect for Bob. Played the game's been announcing for a long time. I do think Willie knows. I know what Willie's intent is. Yeah, sometimes there are certain situations where you've got to be aware, what the score in the game is, possibly what the situation is, what's going on in the field. Willie's already addressed that, right? He addressed it and talked about how embarrassed he was about that particular play. Look, everything is going to be amplified when you're not playing well. If we were 30-20, would anybody be saying that? Probably not.
Oh boy.
Oof! Shouldn't have said it like that, Buster. We'd like you to be 20. We'd like to be 30-20, and you ain't gonna even get close to it.
Oh man, the guy sounds so defensive.
Yeah, the whole time they asked him, very fair question. Did you guys have a plan at closer, or were you counting on Ryan Walker? Like, what was going on there? His immediate thing was, I bet you guys wanted us to sign Edwin Diaz. Look at him. He's on the DL. Like, what? So Buster it was not a good look, this interview.
It's been a continuously bad look. Like, this is a week of it.
Yeah, man. It's his demeanor. He seems like he's really taking it, but yet he's not really owning it. He said, I'll take the blame over Tony V. He said it once during the interview. That's all he said, to take any blame at all. He just said, there's still a lot of time left. There's still a lot of hope left. All the BS cliches. So I don't really know what to make at this point of him. I was hoping for him to just say, yeah, you're right. We're underperforming hugely. I've made some huge mistakes. He said he did not regret anything he's done at all.
Wrong answer, dude. Wrong answer. Take the blame. He's supposed to be the leader of the ball club, of the franchise, and he's pushing blame on like, oh, you guys in the media have it all wrong. I'm doing the right thing. You just don't see it yet. It's just unlucky. Like, it's ridiculous. This guy. I can say, because I'm not a Buster Posey homer, I just think this is a disaster. This is not going well, guys. Like, he's a franchise guy that is, Giants with the capital G in the Hall of Fame, but he's not going there for his president of baseball operations. This is just going south. He seems like he's panicking and he's pissed off and he's not being a leader. All the things he was on the baseball field, he's not being in the front office right now.
Dave?
Yeah. Joe, you're spot on. I think the problem with the Giants is where guys like Tim Lincecum, granted he was the freak, he was a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, won World Series. He did everything. He came in out of the pen, didn't give a shit, shut guys down. But why he was able to do that and why other guys stepped it up, like the Mad Bums, the Matt Canes, the Barry Zitos, my boy Aubrey Huff and the rest of the guys of the 2010 year, is because they had a fucking soul, man. The team had soul. This team has no soul. And when they say they're clowning around, what does that mean to me? That means they don't really give a shit. Like, I've seen Matt Chapman chopping up with a guy at third base. Like, there's a lack of we are about something. This team isn't about anything. This team is about we go to work, we cash our check, we win, we lose, we go home. That's just the feeling that I have, and that starts at the top. And Buster Posey and then his hire in Vitello, the two of those guys are supposed to create the culture or find the guys to create it. They found nobody. And so it's not a miss on the athletes, on the quality of the player. It's the miss on you haven't put together a vibe, a feeling. There's like Jung Hoo is the closest thing we had to a vibe. There's all the Jung Hoo Lee fans that come out of the woodwork, and they're great, but Jung Hoo's not good enough to carry the torch. So who's going to step up and be that cultural movement player for the Giants? We've always had that, whether it was Bonds and Kent, Clark. Like, this team is defined by the type of player, not by the quality of the player. We're going to get quality, but we need that type of player that's kind of, blue collar stuff. He does his shit. He gets shit done. We don't have any of those guys on the baseball team, and that's the miss. And Buster Posey doesn't.
All right.
I think my screen froze.
Yeah, you cut out a bit there. But I got most of what you said. There's no identity. It's an identityless team. It seemed like okay. So out of our Hum Daddy crew, Dave Greenstein right there, who's very fuzzy and his audio's cutting out a little, but you guys know him as the Gypsy. Him, Art, and I are big time Giants fan, Giants homers, and
diehards.
And Starkey, who knows what he's doing these days? I think he likes the Cubs, but who's to say?
We've lost 9 out of 11. Bad run.
Yeah, and Zach is still rolling with the A's. Bless his heart. So 3/5 of our podcast crew is disgusted right now, and I think we speak for pretty much all of the Giants fan base that things are not up to par. Even if you're not competing for a World Series, to not have an identity, to not have a direction, to not have a set closer, to not have a set starting five or an offensive identity where you're calling up all these randos from the minors, yet you have all these very high paid veterans, and then calling these guys up and not playing them like they did with Susac early in the year. Now they're doing it with Eldridge. Make it make sense, Buster. It's
Well, I think that's the problem. I think they had too much expectation. The fans, the franchise, Buster, everybody on the team, they thought they were going to compete this year. They're not ready to compete. And there's just an air of disappointment because they think they should be competing with the Padres, maybe even like touching the Dodgers. They are not. And there's just not a plan. You got to they needed to tear this thing down. Last year, they had an opportunity to tear it down. They should have tore it down. You know what? They tried to. They got Devers. They got, we have Chapman. They got Adames at the beginning of last year. And they're trying to make it work. They're trying to make a run for it. And they just didn't have the arsenal. They didn't have the momentum for it. And in retrospect, it's hard to do as a fan, but you gotta trash it down before you build it up. Because it's really hard right now to think you're going to be going somewhere, and every day you feel like a disappointment. If you're a bunch of young guys building some prospects, building the minor league system, and you feel good about your losses sometimes. You win one, you lose one, you feel like you fight a good battle. But just right now you feel like crap every day, and it's just pertinent going through the dugout, everybody feels like it's just a rough day at work. So I think they made a mistake not tearing it down and starting fresh.
Agreed. Yeah, Dave, what do you think? What should we do, man? What direction should we? To your point, there's no identity. It seems aimless. Buster Posey said as much today. They kept saying, so did you go into the season with a direction? Do you think now that it hasn't worked out, you should start young or get young or trade away pieces? He said we're taking it day by day, day to day. It's a day-to-day thing. And that's how it's felt all year. And that's obviously not working, and that's not a plan. As a president of baseball ops, you don't go day to day. The hell are you talking about? You got to have kind of a macro sense of what's going on for the season and for your future. He doesn't have one.
Yeah, Jake, you're right. He doesn't. But listen, he put all his eggs into this basket, and he's unwilling to compromise on his decision right now because we're still only, we're barely a quarter of the way into the season. So he's not going to just say, I'm going to fold everything right now. He can't say that, because as soon as he does that, he tells the whole rest of the MLB, we're going to sell everything for cheap and you're going to just, steal from us at this point.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
Low.
Huh? He might have to sell low, but he needs to pretend for a while that the decisions he's made are still good, and that when there's an upside and maybe they go on a hot streak, you can look to try and offload somebody. Like I think Willie Adames is starting to play a little bit better. Great. Get that average up to 250, hit a couple more jacks, sell. That guy is not worth having. They've got a bunch of shortstops in the minor leagues that are going to be primed and ready to go in the next couple of years. So just go ahead and get rid of Adames whenever you see the timing is right. Obviously, we know Chapman needs to go. I think they probably just should cut him at some point.
The thing is, guys, people want those dudes right now. Those contracts are not good. They want Webb and they want Robbie Tight Pants. Those are the guys they want.
Yeah,
so
I talked about this in our text. I'm ready to sell Logan Webb. I think now is the time to do it. He came on. He didn't play that well at the beginning of the season. It could be blamed on injury. He's an innings eater. Any top rotation in MLB would put him in the 2 or 3 spot right now and feel like we're ready to go deep into the postseason. Any MLB team would take Logan Webb and put him to the 2 or 3 spot.
My Cubs would love to have some Logan Webb with Robbie Tight Pants.
Yeah,
bring him on.
So I am all about getting rid of some of these pieces. I know pitching, it's hard to find good ones, but Logan Webb has done great things for the Giants. I think he'd be fine to continue to play for the Giants, but the heart and soul is not running through him right now. He's not at that upper echelon. He's not a true ace, as we've talked about. He's an ace on a middle team.
No, it's fun is seeing these guys like Mississippi Mac come up and perform. It's fun for them to bring up these dudes like Rodriguez, like Susac. I would rather watch all those guys, like our studs in the minors, come up and play, get all these reps, get all these ABs. If you know you're going to be a losing team, it's not fun just seeing Chapman and Adames and Devers. Although you guys know I love Devers, so I'm going to say him just for his, because he's a big contract. But seeing them go through the motions is so less appetizing than it is seeing young guys who are hungry, who want to make a name for themselves in Major League Baseball. And Chapman and Willie Adames are not, they don't seem mentally there. Like they seem so blasé, glove wise. They're not fielding the ball. They're making outs on the bases. They don't care about pressure, clutch situations. It seems like they just treat every at bat the same, and they don't really give a shit about every at bat or any at bat for that matter. So give me some more Susacs. Give me some more Cosses. Give me some more, bring up all the young guys. They brought someone up today. I just saw it before he came on the podcast. It was a Latin dude. I don't know exactly who it was, anything about it, but that's a good sign. We just keep bringing guys up, keep trying to get rid of these guys. And I think you're going to have to trade a Rise at the deadline. As great as he's been, he's on a 1-year deal. There's no way in hell if I'm a Rise, I'm signing back with this piece of shit franchise. So I think you could get some young studs from a contender for a Rise at the deadline. And Right now, I'm thinking it's sell, sell, sell. Buster Posey, it seemed like he wasn't trying to keep his head down and play poker, Dave. He seems like he genuinely thinks we should hold on to everyone and try to get on a hot streak. And he said the same thing last year. So
but then he sold big time last year. He's the wrong
guy for this position. He wants to be on the field and win the game. He wants to win the series. He wants to take 2 out of 3 and advance in the win column. He's not a big picture guy. Clearly, he's not the guy who should be leading the team for the next 10 years with the big picture. He wants to be in the playoffs right now and maybe squeak out another championship. That's how he's thinking right now.
Yeah, and pitchers are hard to find, Dave. And guess what? We traded a starter last year who is on the Brewers now with the lowest ERA in baseball. And his last start, he had 7 innings, no earnings, and 11 Ks. His name's Kyle Harrison and went to De La Salle. He was in the Devers deal. And then the Red Sox
but you
traded
love
him
Devers.
instantly, too. I do.
Yeah.
And I wasn't mad at the trade at the time.
No one was.
I'm not analyzing these guys and getting rid of them. So, I'm not Buster Posey. And it's just crazy. Kyle Harrison's dominating baseball right now, and we just had him a year ago, which is kind of nuts.
This is the difference. Like, this is why it was infuriating being an A's fan, watching Billy Beane, who was a great front office guy because he didn't give a shit. Yeah. He would cut your ass, sell you down the river if he could get a good value for the team in the future. And he was not. He would cut bait with your ass. We're the team.
Your favorite players didn't give a shit how much culturally they
And what's the big picture? What are they worth? What can I get back? Oh, the younger player is worth more in value. This team ain't making the playoffs. Cut bait. Let's start over.
Well, listen, I think it does work. I think Jake would be one of the guys who would constantly be selling away his great pieces, like the Carlos Beltran trade. I know Jake was stoked to get Carlos Beltran. Who do we give up? Zach Wheeler. How good was he? He was good for about a decade.
Overrated.
Not at all. I mean, this is what the Giants have been doing wrong for a long time, is they constantly trade away young talent to try and make a move late. It's just kind of the way that we had Bonds.
We got AJ Pierzynski for a season and gave up Joe Nathan. So we're good.
Not only Joe Nathan, it was also the other Twins pitcher. Who's that guy?
Oh, that lefty, Johan.
No. That he was
no. The other one.
Oh, the other one was light. He was Johan Light, and then he flamed out a little bit.
He did flame out, but he was really good for about. Started with an L, like
Lindor. I can't remember. Something in the text line on the comments, please.
He was dope for a couple of years though. Yeah. Oh, and Boof Bonzer, who was solid. If you remember old Boof. But anyhow, I don't know. Any other thoughts? I mean, we could talk about the Giants and stew in misery all day as far as this current.
I want to know a little bit more about why you guys love Lincecum.
Are we going to the Lincecum portion? This is Dave's thing mostly. So, I mean, of course, I love Lincecum, but Dave has
from my side of the day, Lincecum was a joy. He was just a phenomenon. The way he pitched, it's just the pure style in the way he threw the ball. I think he got kind of just blew up in the mid-late 2000s and started winning Cy Youngs in like 08, 09. The way just his windup and how much does that guy weigh? 155 pounds?
He was listed at 5'11", 175, I think, something like that. Yeah. But people think he was shorter and thinner than that. Although I hear he was like solid muscle. The guy had like a very defined six-pack. Not to get you guys from 6 to midnight to make out there. But did you want to set up the Lincecum thing,
Dave? Yeah, you handstand jacks. Yeah.
All right, Alien.
Well, do we want to watch some more? I mean, we showed the video at the beginning. I don't know that we need to. Sometimes the internet just sucks. There's no rhyme or reason. Nothing's different tonight than any other night except that.
When's the last time you started your computer?
What is restarting your computer? What are you, 5? What is this? Blow on the Super Nintendo?
It helped
disc?
Zach.
Oh, that got.
Hey, blowing on the Super Nintendo games definitely helped. I don't know what you're talking about. It's very helpful.
Mr. Know-It-All, look at your screen right now. But anyway, set up the lens. Let's get some color from you.
If you're playing 1994 Madden, you got to blow on the.
Yeah. Absolutely, that helped a lot. Blowing on Sega, blowing on Sonic. You need a blow. All right, Dave, you're clear. Let's go. Lindsay.
All right. We're gonna hit a little Lindsay here.
Rags in the house. Shut your mouth. Rags in the house.
Well, Tim, you've had a chance for everything to kind of sink in a little bit, and you've had your champagne shower. You've celebrated with your teammates. Like to finally realize that you guys are.
Go on.
All right.
That's a great.
That looks like a nice.
What an amazing yourself and Cliffley. How was the adrenaline coming into the game, and what was it like to be on that mound on this huge stage?
The adrenaline kicked in.
Right
before.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's Tim Lincecum.
Dave, I might have to kick you off. Can we kick Dave off the program?
Can you restart your computer today? Or no, you can't.
My internet sucks.
Going. He
doesn't suck. Yeah.
Sure. All right, you guys keep talking. I'll be right back.
We're live. Okay, figure it out. So this show's probably gonna get stopped mid-show. It's happened before. If he plugs in his or unplugs his modem or unplugs his Wi-Fi, then we're probably gone. But anyway, so Tim Lincecum, let's talk about him. Yes, I remember he came up in 2007. It was Bonds' last year. You had Matt Cain was a Giant. His rookie year was 2005. And then we heard about this kid Lincecum they drafted from, I think he was a Husky?
Washington. University of Washington, yes.
Yeah, I remember he got brought into the booth as this kind of cocky, but he looked kind of like a skater when he was in the booth with Kruk and Kipe while Bonds was, I think, going for the record or I don't know. Every game was momentous with Barry Bonds at that point in 2006, I believe. When Lincecum was drafted. And then we saw him debut in 2007, and we'd never seen anything like it. I mean, he kind of had a throwback windup that, it was like Juan Marichal-esque. And him and Matt Cain, I remember for a couple of years there, were such a fun duo. It was Lincecum, Cain, and Pray for Rain. And then that was the saying. I remember it well because the 2008 Giants were much like this team. I mean, you had Barry Bonds was gone. So Bonds' last year was 2007. 2008, Tim Lincecum was a Cy Young on, I believe the Giants might have been second to last team in the National League as far as record goes, somewhere around there. But it was just thrilling every time you saw this guy take the hill. And that was also during kind of the advent of advanced analytics in baseball. He won the Cy Young not because of wins. He didn't have that many wins, if I remember correctly. It was he had strikeouts compared to innings pitched, which is still relevant and always has been. But there was all these advanced analytics telling you how much of a savage, how much of a beast this young Tim Lincecum kid was, even though he wasn't getting that much national attention yet in 2008. But it was just an event every time to see him. I remember I went out to the park many times with Dave, with Sam Bunn, with Andrew Keogh. We went to a lot of Giants games back then, and to see him pitch. And you also had Jonathan Sanchez coming up at the time. Yep. I believe 2009 was where Sanchez really shined. So in 2009, you had they didn't make the playoffs that year, but you could kind of feel it coming. In 2010,
I think they won 87.
Yeah, okay.
And the vibe was we're about to have a breakout, and then they picked up a few old dudes in 2010, and we won the World Series.
Yeah, in 2009, we had our first taste of Buster and Mad Bum, too. They got called up in September, and it really sucked for baseball card lovers because Buster had 10 ABs and hit 120 or something. I hate that when rookies have only a few ABs, and then it looks like a rookie year, but it's only a couple games. So he had a horrible baseball card to start off, and Mad Bum, I think, had 1 or 2 starts. Yeah, and I forgot what his numbers were, but it was exciting seeing those guys up in that September 2009.
Yeah, I think my internet's a little bit better now. The main piece of Tim Lincecum that I remember most was when he developed. He had the fastball, he had a nasty slider, and then all of a sudden he picked up the split finger, the changeup, as they called it, a power change, because the thing just dropped off the table. I mean, I'd never seen players look so silly. They were swinging at balls that were bouncing like a foot in front of home plate. I mean, this ball just caved. It just fell out of thin air. The miraculous thing about Tim Lincecum was just how in the intensity of his windup almost was probably just disturbing to your eyes. But the pitches he threw were so nasty. I mean, so nasty. That he just, we watched the 13 strikeout game against, or 14 against the Braves in the postseason. He wasn't doing anything dazzling, it looked like, He looked like he was just pumping balls down the plate, but they moved in the zone. And that's where great pitching happens. It was when your ball moves in the zone, and it drops from, starts at the top of the letters and comes down to the knees, but it does magical shit along the way, and you can't hit it. And that's what Tim Lincecum learned how to do, is he learned how to pitch in the zone with really good stuff. And, the two Cy Youngs, the two no-hitters he had late in his career was when he was, like, honestly not pitching well in his career. And he still figured out a way to throw those. But, like, those were the least memorable moments of an otherwise incredible 5-year run.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking when you said that, it comes up in 07, Cy Youngs in 08, 09, World Series 10, 12, 14. But, like, gosh, he started end of his career talking about his Cy Youngs. Weren't his Cy Youngs like 13 and 14?
No, you mean it's no hitters.
No, his no hitters are like 13 and 14.
12 and 14 or 13 and 15?
No, it's 13, 14, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like he was an old man getting that last one against the Padres through like 145 pitches or something. Like is Tim going to be okay?
Late 20s.
I'm worried about Tim. Yeah, he was a flash. A flash of a career. Just like, man, he burned brightly. But it didn't last all that long, but long enough for three titles and 2 Cy Youngs and 2 no-hitters. That's good enough, right?
Yeah. And if you want to get into his different roles in the playoffs, I mean, his 2010 run in the playoffs was incredible. Dave, you can get into detail on that, but and also how it changed throughout 12 and 14, especially 14 when he came out of the bullpen. But what are some of your memories in that 2010 playoff run, Dave?
I mean, yeah, the Braves first game at home, the Giants won, I think 1-0, and I was sitting in the bleachers, and it was the best game I had ever seen as far as pitchers duel because of the fans were going nuts every time Tim came. We didn't even care about hitting. Like, we want to see Timmy come out here and just strike fools out, and we don't care where we're watching from. The vibe was incredible. Against the Phillies, he pitched pretty well. He certainly held his own against arguably at the time the best pitcher in baseball. And now Dwight Holiday. And Holiday was phenomenal. And then they got hit by Cody Ross. And Cody Ross said, "Fuck you. You ain't that good. I'm gonna hit 2 jacks." What?
Yeah, totally. That Philly series was wild because it opened with Holiday versus Lincecum, 2 Cy Young winners. And Lincecum got the best of them in Philly to open it up. Giants won that game 4-2. And then I remember game 5, I was at were you there, Joe?
No, I wasn't there. I'm just saying, I'm looking at the box scores here. It was game 1 and game 5.
Yeah, game 5, the score was flipped, and the Phillies won 4-2. I was at the game, I remember, with McGonis, and I kind of broke off with him. Maybe Ian and like Andrew Keogh were there. But it was also a fabulous pitcher's duel. But Holiday, I remember being very special that night. It was he gave an incredible performance. But then we won it against it was B. Will against Ryan Howard.
Yeah.
And then boom. Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's when it got real because I think didn't the Phillies had just won in 09.
Yeah, they beat the Yankees.
They lost in 08 and won in 09.
They won in 08.
Sorry,
they won in 08.
They lost the Yankees. Yeah.
So
everyone expected a repeat.
A huge favorite. Is how I remember it.
Big time.
And the Giants just kind of crept in there, won the division against the Padres. There were some errors against the Braves, and next thing to know, they're on the next round. But okay, it's going to get real here against the Phillies, and it stops here. And then game 1 happens. I think Lincecum had that looks like a 7-inning win here, and I'm like, oh, I guess I got to take these guys seriously, And then game 5 and game 6. I remember that series just like being in San Francisco, hopping from bar to bar, like you couldn't miss it. People were losing their mind when the reality was hitting of like we are a competitor, and Lincecum is gonna like take us there. Like we believe in Timmy, baby, and it didn't make any sense. But it was what was happening, and everybody got on for the ride.
Yeah, I remember Starkey in the city at that time. It was right before. So, funny story. I moved to LA, back to LA. I was back in the Bay for a couple of years after college, and moved back to LA in September of 2010. Funny enough. And I was in LA for 10, 12, 14. Obviously, I came back and for parades and stuff like that in certain games. But a lot of people tell me, when are you moving back to LA so we can start winning again? But in 2010, I vividly remember I was in Alhambra next to, I think, kind of close to Pasadena-ish, or I don't know. Alhambra's a little suburb outside of LA. Watching that last game against the Padres, winner wins the division, loser misses the playoffs. Jonathan Sanchez hit a base clearing triple. He was the starting pitcher that day in a 3 RBI triple. Just magic was in the air already. I mean, and then for the game where Lincey threw the 14 Ks in the shutout against the Braves, I was at a bar in Long Beach and I was celebrating. Some fucking Dodgers fan said, "Fuck you," and threw a pint glass at my head that I had to duck. So those are some great memories. And then I remember I was with Kevin Deneen when we clinched it in Culver City at a San Francisco themed bar. I forgot the name of it, but I got to watch it with fellow Giants fan from the Bay Area, went to high school with us, good buddy Kevin Deneen, and we just jumped up and down in such crazy excitement and hugged. We couldn't believe it when Brian Wilson struck out Ryan Howard and we were going to go to the World Series.
You just felt like Ryan Howard was finally going to get one to get over on the Giants, and he just never did. And I know it's funny, if we had the ABS, if they could look at that pitch today, would that have been low? Might have been. But hey, it wasn't then. All those series were really interesting, except for the Texas Rangers series and the World Series. The reality is that series is like we were just swimming in good vibes. I don't even remember more than like a couple of big hits. We had Huff hitting that jack, which was a big one in Texas, where the Giants ended up winning. And then obviously the Renteria 3-run home run, which turned the tide and let the Giants, celebrate in Texas. But other than that, like, I just remember so much more of like the Braves were really freaking good that year. And the only reason why the Giants maybe ended up beating them is because the second baseman, I think his name was Colby, had a couple of bad errors, or maybe one really bad one.
3. Yeah, it was a lot of errors.
And these are the things that, like, you forget, these little nuances that change the whole trajectory of a franchise potentially, because the Giants had to get a couple of lucky breaks. And those were big. Getting past the Braves is no small task. The Braves were very good that season. I think they may even had a better record than the Giants. The Giants had won the division.
Yeah, correct. That's true.
Well, there we go. Want to talk about other freaks in the NBA playoffs, perhaps?
Well, first, let me just talk. So
close it up, Aaron Lincey.
Lincecum had nearly a 5 ERA in 2014. But if you recall him coming out of the bullpen in some huge moments during the playoffs, and especially was it one of the Royals games, he had a really, really big game, didn't he? Yeah. Coming out of the bullpen to close it, I believe. So just those moments, he was there. His role obviously morphed, and he wasn't the dominating guy he used to be, but those flashes like the no-hitters and the bullpen games and, the biggest games in the world.
Big moments, Tim would never shy away. That was another reason to always remember what he did.
He was so clutch. He was really just a clutch guy when the game was on the line.
Pitching.
He'd go deep into games. He threw a lot of complete games, a lot of shutouts for that era. Now they're
Lincecum, Kane, and Bumgarner are 3 of the clutchest playoff pitchers the Giants will ever have.
Well,
period.
Bumgarner over all of them by far.
Yes, but Matt Cain came up plenty of times and had big games
2010 Matt Cain was huge.
What about my boy Barry Zito? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Zito in 2012, Vogie in 2012, they were huge for sure. It took so many. Everything went right for so many of those teams and it drove.
And everything's going wrong right now. And that's why we're reflecting on the
good times,
the good and the times and the bad times, baby.
So it happens. The second baseman for the Braves, does the name Brooks Conrad ring a bell?
Yeah, Brooks Conrad.
4 errors in the series, 3 in Game 3, including the losing one through his legs.
Yep, poor guy.
Yeah,
poor guy.
Do you recall second baseman for the Marlins and the Braves, Dan Ugla?
Sure.
Forever Giant, Dan Ugla. He was a giant.
Right? He was too big to play baseball.
He was like all short and but like
he was like a Mike Allstat.
Yes.
Yeah, he looked like Mike Allstott playing second base, and he. I remember him on the Giants. I think he went 1 for 50 or something. They cut him. Must have stopped his cycles. But yeah, I guess that's all we need to talk about, Lindsey. We just wanted to bring up some good times from one of the greats playing with numerology. It's episode 55. That's an epic number 55, and a lot of pitchers were wearing 55 at the time, or who came up later, like in honor of Lindsey. There's a lot of kids that grew up with him as their favorite player because, in a way, he was like Steph Curry, just like he wasn't this big monstrous guy that was 6'5" and 250. He was, someone a lot of kids could identify with as like a normal looking or normal sized guy. And then like skater culture came into it, surfer culture, weed culture, just everything was coming together around Tim Lincecum in that era. And then, Steph started his run right after. So kind of every men in the Bay Area there that after the
things really started to
god
gel.
of Barry Bondsism. Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh and the Niners. I mean, it was the golden. Those are the most golden years, I think, in Bay Area sports.
I know.
I'm pretty
if
sure.
we would have just got one of those Super Bowls with Harbaugh, Dan, that would have been. We would have had a hat.
And it was in our 20s. Like everything was perfect.
Sharks were really good too. Sharks were great at that time, and they kind of shit the bed in deep into the playoffs a few years.
The Warriors were just a step away, but like I think 2012 was the best
for every team combined.
Well, it was my favorite A's team. The Giants won the World Series. Sharks were very good. 49ers were peak, and.
Splash Brothers were just getting going.
Splash Brothers were like we still had sprained ankles with Curry, I think, at the time.
Yeah,
2012, 2013 was their first that really fun playoff run with when they beat the Nuggets.
Right, good times. So Artavon says Brooks Conrad is largely responsible for the success of Don't Stop Believing. Ash and I were talking that night, and he said if the Giants find a way to win tonight, I think this video I made is going to blow up. Sure did, buddy. Sure did. Thank you, Brooks.
Thanks, Brooks. You made a couple of great podcasts for us.
I remember texting Ashcon right after that song came out. I said, hey, if the Giants actually pulled this thing off, you're going to be remembered as a legend, dude. And it seemed so unthinkable. I was just kind of talking out of my ass, and here we are. Very cool. And Starkey, I hate to, Starkey's probably a little bitter about all this. He was a fan of the 2010 Giants. I wanted to make that point. He was like rooting for the Bay, rooting for
absolutely
San Francisco. And then come 2012, he's like, fuck you guys. I'm sick of this.
Exactly. Well, if it wasn't for my miraculous A's season, I wouldn't have been probably okay. But then it's like, you guys already had yours. And I was living in 2010, I should say, I was living above the Whole Foods right in Soma. So like everybody was coming in and hanging out, and we go to the tailgate at whatever Pedro's. I think we were hanging out at a lot.
Pete's Tavern / Pedro's.
Yeah. Peters. Yeah, it was a great time. San Francisco was on fire right then. Yeah. That September, October.
2012 is when we had the great blessing of playoff baseball and I think hardly strictly bluegrass at the same time. Oh no, sorry, Fleet Week. I think and hardly. It was like all of them miraculous in the same weekend. It was crazy.
And we had Niners football.
And we had a really warm evening. So I remember we had street TV where we put the TV out on Polk Street. And I remember we just lined the chairs up along the sidewalk, watch baseball. I remember sitting down, and then all of a sudden this like German traveler and just kind of walking around the city like, oh, what are you guys doing? And he just sits down next to me and starts watching the Giants game with me on Polk Street. We just start chatting about how lovely it is to live and be in San Francisco at this time. And those are the kind of moments of living in the city that you can never forget. I mean, there's just so many great times of living in San Francisco during these amazing sports moments that I'll never forget.
So now that I know the city better, like as an adult, since that was, we were in our 20s still, you guys were in like Nob Hill or Russian
Hill. It was Polk and Union.
Okay. And both of you were?
No,
I was. Joe was over. You were over.
I was in Soma, living above the Whole Foods. And
Soma, okay, yeah.
I mean, I just have clear memories of, when they clinched, was it Game 6 against Texas? And we were outside of a bar, and then people just start buying champagne, just going around all through the town. We just walk through the streets, no police to be seen, just bottles of champagne thrown about everywhere. Everybody's just drenched, having a crazy time, and nobody cared. All those Irish police just like we're having a good time too. I think
we watched a guy run and jump on top of a roof through a windshield. We're like, what are you doing? He's like, it's my car. I was like, okay. Psychos. Yeah, the Lester trade was the dumbest shit anyone ever saw. I agree. Cespedes for the rest of us.
That's 2014. That's a different thing.
Still, but we talk about vibes. We talk about vibes in baseball. And you can see Joe's reaction. He agrees. It was a terrible decision. The vibe was good. Don't fuck with it. And this is when general managers start meddling too much, and fans are like, you are the reason we lost.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, having John Lester, who was like a proven dude, they set him up in the situation they wanted for a wild card game, and he didn't come to pitch.
Okay, you guys want to talk about that wild card game? You can do it.
Might have not been a wild card game if they kept Cespedes. Maybe they just outright beat all the who did you guys lose? The Angels?
No, we lost to Kansas City.
No, the division. The division. Must have been
Rangers
or
either the Rangers or the Angels. It must have been the Rangers.
Anyway,
yeah,
let's not take
We tanked. We couldn't after Cespedes went away. Everybody stopped hitting. Brandon Moss, in particular, he was hitting behind Cespedes, and the next thing I know, this guy just can't do anything. But we did get to the wild card game, and I was in Copenhagen, and on to some travels. It was a great time, and I'm like, well, gotta watch this game. But guess what? It's at like 2 a.m. So I watched this game from like 2 a.m. to like 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m.
At a bar on a computer. What was the scene like?
The scene was at a bar for a little bit, but then it closed. And then so I'm like in some hostel in my upper bunk with like sneaking it on my phone, just living and dying, thinking that Alberto Callaspo won the game. And then, lo and behold, we do not win the game. And oh God, John Lester. Okay, what happened was the starting catcher. We put in the catcher because the Royals were pretty fast, so we put in our catcher. They were a little bit more defensive.
And you got the 40-man roster too, so they had like 10 sprinters that they could just throw on first base and run.
This guy Dyson was incredibly fast, and so we took out Norris, who was a better hitter but not as good defensive, and we put in the other guy, and he'll be traded for, and he's holding everybody at bay, and then there's a play at the plate, he hurts his hand, he has taken out of the game, and they just start stealing nonstop. And guess what? John Lester can't do one thing. Do you know what that is?
Throw over.
Hold can't throw to first base. They had to take Lester out of the game. Yep. It was a disaster, man. I
couldn't stand watching that one for you. I was rooting for the A's. I love the A's that year.
We were out way out in front, and then we just tanked. And then this was just the most brutal loss of all time. And Copenhagen, I'm sorry, but I hate you. That was
sliding glass door. The A's win that game. They go on to play the Giants in the World Series. Of course, we still win. But does that change the trajectory of the A's? And anything in any way, shape, or form?
See, this is what tortures me as an A's fan or as a former A's fan is that I was living and dying knowing that our existence depended on these wins. If we could pull out a championship, they would still be here. If we could have won in 2012, 2013, 2014, if we could even got to the World Series. 2018, 2019, 2020, COVID didn't happen. We had the best team. So all these years, I'm thinking our franchise depends on getting to the next level. And seeing those losses and knowing where we are now, I just still feel the same way.
It was just one and done so many times. It's brutal.
So many times.
Brutal.
I look forward to the book you're going to write about this, Joe. I think The Tortured A's Fan is a book you should write. I look forward to seeing how it all comes together.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I want to talk about on two sides of the spectrum of our podcast crew. You got Artie, who's had the great fortunes of the Warriors for all three of us and the Giants for two of us here. And instead of the Niners misery over the last 30 years, he's a fucking Chiefs fan.
Wow. Really? Sure.
So what's that? 3 Chiefs championships, 3 Warriors, or 4 Warriors, 3 Giants. Poor Artie. And then you got Zach, who chose all the wrong teams. The guy is a Suns fan, Dolphins fan, and a tortured A's fan. Talk about the polar opposites of fanhood, from Art to Zach. It doesn't get any more opposing to no wins at all. Every goddamn team you like wins championships. That's insane. Just a little insight into the
good thing they're best friends and they get to reminisce from time to time on Heat Check.
that's why it's so fun to listen to them fight.
Yeah, when I was like, my Spurs, you're just trying to hurt me, aren't you?
Totally. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so that's a fun walk down memory lane. Got a little Lincecum in there. Did you want to touch on that Niners clip you sent me, or do you want to talk let's talk playoff hoops? I mean, we're talking the freak with Lindsay. Do you want to talk about the freak in Wembanyama?
Well, I mean, let's talk about the Knicks. They just went up 2-0.
Yeah.
And the New York City Knickerbockers are about to take the world by storm. They're going to go to the finals, it looks like. And just seeing them beat up on James Harden, especially at the end of the game, down 22 points with 7.5 minutes to go, and they figured out just ISO Harden every time, and he got a bucket. I mean, it's just fun to watch that guy just get skewered. He is the worst excuse of an athlete I've ever seen. He's just trying to cheat at every moment. I'm so happy to see that. So, yeah. And I also hate the Cavs for memories of the Warriors playing them all the time, even though the two have nothing to do with each other anymore. So yeah, the New York Knicks, the juice that they got in that MSG is out of control, man. It's very exciting, and I can't wait to see them get their asses kicked by either OKC or San Antonio.
It's much more endearing to see the Knicks like celebrities and their fans, because they haven't won in 50 plus years. It gets pretty sickening when all of a sudden you see all these stars out at Dodger Stadium or at Lakers games. You know, that gets old real quick. But the young New York Knicks fans, have you seen all these hype videos after games where they're just screaming about they storm the streets, they climb poles for every Knicks win? Even during losses in the playoffs, they do it. And there's all these really entertaining Knicks tape things where it's just kids go, yeah, baby, we go, just screaming their heads off. So a lot of passion there in the Knicks kingdom. Knicks tape, hashtag Knicks tape. And as far as Harden's concerned, I sent you guys some props that I won tonight. I did very well, except my main one that I bet the most on was James Harden 18.5 over. He scored 18. So lost that one.
You know better than that. Come on.
Half point.
James Harden is not going to do you a favor.
Jake thought he'd become a volume shooter and he'd figure out a way to get 23.
He did cover over 2.5 threes though. So, and Cat in the first couple of minutes of the game, the best prop of the night. This was my favorite value proposition. Amazing. Cat was plus 125 to go over 1.5 threes. He hit 2 right out of the gate. So won that quick.
Good bets.
Yeah.
Here I want to kind of just run it down real quick. The Knicks are great. They're definitely, they lucked into who they got to face and when they got to face them. They struggled with the Hawks a little bit, and Artie was like, "Oh, they're going to be done in 5. The Knicks are done in 5." Sorry, Art. Not right. I know. I love the dynamic of Art and I between the two podcasts.
Dog. They're gonna Kaminga, dog.
I can't quite do the impression like Jake can. But the Knicks then got to face a beaten down 7-game series, old man crew, less Maxey in the 76ers, handled them. Now they're getting the same thing, but except instead of it being beaten down older guys on the front court, it's beaten down old guys in the back court, and Harden and Donovan Mitchell. And they're going to go up and they're going to face 2 of the youngest teams in the NBA with the best backcourts in the NBA. They have no chance.
They're also going to be beat up, Dave.
The OKC or San Antonio?
San Antonio and OKC are going to beat the shit out of each other.
If San Antonio, they have a chance to beat San Antonio only because San Antonio seems to be continuously getting more and more injured. But if OKC gets past, they're going to win in 4 games. Like the Knicks won't even get close to winning a game. I can't imagine, because they rely so much on their backcourt play, whether it be Brunson or I'm sorry, forgetting the other guy's name. But they're just not. They don't have a dynamic inside presence, and they need that against an OKC or San Antonio. They're gonna get just killed. It's not even gonna be close. Sorry.
I think general consensus is OKC and San Antonio are a step above, if not 2 steps above. However, they could be beating each other up, and there could be a couple injuries. And you just show up in that championship game, that the finals, you might find yourself with a path. And so I don't know if they can sweep those weak ass James Harden Cavs and just find themselves well rested, and then coming in against Wembanyama by himself in the finals, maybe they can figure it out. Maybe Wembanyama starts shooting threes and starts missing, and they pick up a couple games, and they got the home crowd advantage. And next thing you know, the Rockets are the champions. It could happen, man. I can see it.
You think Towns is going to stop Wembanyama? Towns is going to lay down and just get absolutely.
No, the only person that can stop Wembanyama is himself.
Well, and Hartenstein.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. OKC has at least has a front court.
Hartenstein was playing him pretty well, honestly.
Hartenstein. I mean, have you seen all the clips of him just
grabbing him, pulling hair, doing all kinds
the
of weird
things.
shit. Yeah, he's
I
think
the hair pull is a little bit. Listen, I love that guys like to wear the big hair and the giant beards and stuff.
It's
when
a
you start
bad move.
adding all these appendages onto yourself, you're asking for things to get hooked. And I start to think, you know what? That's your bad. Because no one used to do that shit. I mean, there would be an afro here and there, but the long hair and the giant beard shit, I'm kind of over it. Like, if you're going to wear that shit, that's not a part of your body.
The Titans.
I don't like it.
Chris Johnson, running back for the Titans, like super fast.
Yeah.
He had these long dreads, and I was just thinking, this makes no sense. You're trying to get by people and squirt through. You got these dreads flowing everywhere.
Of those guys say that they get tugged. It's part of it, and they say it's worth it. They don't care. I mean, look at Larry Fitzgerald. He had long braids, and he's a Hall of Famer.
But that's a wide receiver, a running back.
I'm just saying you don't get a foul call if somebody accidentally incidental contact to your hair.
Accidentally? I don't think Hartenstein was accidentally going like that to his hair.
Hartenstein was on one.
He was Bill Lambiering that shit all night, giving elbows, pinching people. He was just doing everything he could to get in people's minds and fuck with them and harass them. It was who was that guy, Lance, who blew on LeBron? Remember that guy, Lance Stevenson?
Yeah. All right, well, let me ask you this question. So the Cavs had a shot to get a win in the series. I walked away from the game late. They were down 20 or nearly 20, and then they blow it. But what is Kenny Atkinson doing? You're the head coach, and you're letting James Harden guard Brunson one-on-one for that many possessions, and he's clearly hitting shots. And then he's letting. On the other side, there's no Donovan Mitchell to be seen. He's not running the ball. He's not trying to run the offense, take a shot, anything. I just don't understand how he can have a job after the series, other than he finally got Cleveland, a LeBron-less Cleveland to the Eastern Conference Finals. But terrible coaching, terrible.
Yeah. Well, and how funny was it that Mike Brown said gave their whole game plan away. He's like, yeah, Golden State, we used to just go straight at James Harden. So we did it again and it worked. Yeah. That was pretty funny. Spelling it out. And they did the same thing tonight when Harden was on the floor in the second half. The Cavs closed the gap during the game with Harden out. And when he came back in, the Cavs gave up ass and the Knicks just ran away with it. It's a very simple formula. When Harden's out there, there's no defense on the floor for the Cavs.
Good luck going at Stephon Castle or going at, any number of the freaking amazing guards that OKC has. I mean, the guard play in this series in the Western Conference Finals is so fun to watch. I mean, these guys, the amount of tipped balls, it's a struggle for these guys to not turn it over because the talent on defense is the best I've ever seen. On both sides. Let alone some of the great guard play just offensively too. I mean, Shea is having to work the hardest he's ever worked to get buckets right now.
He's working real hard, but I actually like him more than most people. All this hatred for Shea, I don't really get. I mean, he gets the line a lot. It's annoying. So Harden annoys me way more with that. Shea actually had a solid game, just scoring some clutch shots yesterday after he had a cold streak at one point.
I like Shea on the court. I don't like Shea off the court. I think that's why people kind of want to look for something on the court they can be irritated with. The way he talks off the court sometimes to me feels a little bit like, I don't know, just there's an arrogance to him in a way. I don't know. The weird outfits he wears. I don't know. It kind of feels a little bit like Russell Westbrook. And I loved Russell on the court for the most part, although I thought he was terrible at the end of every game.
Yes.
Shea is the opposite. But the off the court stuff is like they're trying to be showy in this way that I think is kind of stupid. And I don't know, but hey, teach their own.
I want to pick up what Jake's saying. So James Harden is the worst basketball type of viewing experience you can have. He's just trying to game the system and get people to foul, and it's just gross. He's at the line all the time and just trying to trick people, doing weird little grabs and trickery,
kickouts,
and it's not real basketball. It's heinous. SGA is not James Harden, but there's an element of his kind of trickery with his footwork that's just very deceptive, and a lot of his game is built off just kind of like keeping people off balance a lot.
Yeah, right.
And he does go to the line. It's just not as fun of a flow of a game to watch when somebody is constantly at the free throw line, no matter whether they deserve it or not. And
right, agreed.
Yeah.
But it's this playoffs, the whistle hasn't been as generous to him, and he's proving that he can be really good in other ways.
And that's I think I'm in the minority in this, but playoff, swallowing the whistle in the playoffs I hate it. You play the whole 82 game season a certain way, and then you go to the playoffs and you let Draymond Green just beat the shit out of people. It's a different game altogether. And so these veterans that know how to play in the playoffs, there's a different. I don't like it. Just like pick one style of basketball and play it the whole year through the playoffs.
I hear what you're saying. I like this style of basketball more. I don't think it's fair to change the whole style of the game come playoff time. But I would rather it be like this more often than have it be like how they call it in the regular season.
But Joe, I think here's the problem, and I 100% agree. But in the NBA playoffs, the intensity goes to such a higher level, and it gets more and more and more as you move deeper into the playoffs, that guys are more actively energy tapping people, and there's just more contact. The number of fouls they'd end up having to call would make the game really hard to watch, and you want the flow in the playoffs because it creates good atmosphere. And so I think that's the reason why the NBA is a little less foul heavy in the playoffs, is just to keep continuity of basketball. I don't know that that's. I
think people would stop fouling as much if their star players were in foul trouble. I think it would change. I think there would be less contact if you just called it the same way.
Yeah, maybe.
I think Spida had some foul trouble today, and I don't know. I get your point though, but I just wanted to make the point that SGA's game is not nearly as obnoxious as Harden's, and you kind of agree with that.
Nothing can be as obnoxious as James Harden.
Yeah,
it's not possible.
Can I ask you guys a question? Wembanyama's game one was one of the greatest. Is his coming out game in terms of people will remember that game like they remember the Steph Curry 12-3 hit against OKC that's been compared to a lot on the interwebs. Game two comes along, and Wembanyama is not hitting threes. He hit one big three, maybe hit one more in that game, but he went a little more ice cold. And he hasn't shot the three particularly at a high percentage. He shoots like 35%, which is in the NBA today is probably average for somebody who should be shooting threes.
What about a 7'4" guy?
Yeah, it's kind of good.
I'm not saying it's not, but all I'm asking is if you're 7'4" and you can stand under the hoop and guys can just toss it to you and you can literally just grab it and throw it in the basket, how much more do you let Wembanyama just kind of try and huck threes and hope that he gets hot versus play the stats, which says you're scoring at such a high efficiency inside. What are we bothering with you staying on the outside perimeter shooting threes at this point? Other than we know you can make them every once in a while.
I think your answer last night, he was gassed at the end of the game. So he plays so hard on defense. He's all over the court as this giant guy. So he felt, as some guys do towards the end of the game, and he kind of shot them out of the game. It feels like towards the end, he had a couple of huge bricks from three that weren't necessarily the smartest shots. And that happens when 3-point shooters do that. But to your point, he doesn't need to do that at the end of games. I just think he was tired. I think he was getting grabbed. He was getting fucked with all night. And the way he plays defense must be exhausting. but he went through that Buddhist training or whatever, so you would think he could take it. But he looked kind of tired at the end of the game.
Yeah, he played the most minutes he's ever played in game one. I get it. Joe, what do you think?
Don't shoot the three as much. I mean, his three in game one was critical. It was the right move. You had enough time on the clock to maybe get 2 shots off or get one in before the 24-second clock. It was the perfect time to do it. Loved it. And he can make it. He shot it. He made it. It was incredible. But doesn't need to be his game. His advantage, like you're saying, is just fucking stand there and put it down in the hoop. Boom. Yeah, people can just throw you an alley-oop. It looks like the easiest thing I've ever seen. It's a huge advantage. So yeah, I think he could maybe think about being slightly more efficient. And I don't know. In general, I think this is going to swing back. You get a little home field advantage. I think the refs might get a little bit more. Might have gotten a message from the league. Hey, watch Hartenstein. Watch this guy. Watch the dread pulling. So I think it's all gonna even out. But yeah. Wembanyama's advantage is being 7'7". By the way, he's not 7'4". He's like 7. He's like 7'5" at least. He might be 7'7". Nobody knows. He's lying. He doesn't want to sound like a freak. So he's even taller than 7'4".
He definitely.
We don't have equipment to measure him.
When he lines up, when he stands next to other like 6'6" 2 guards, he looks like a giant compared to them. He Dinklages them all. They all look like Willow or an elf compared to him. He's a monster.
Yeah, I mean, it's the way he can make contact and still use these alien arms to put it in from 3 feet away. It just he has such an advantage around the hoop that I agree. That's where the sweet spot is. We're trying to win games here and get to Larry O'Brien here. So just I think a little less 3 would be appropriate.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that the Spurs didn't take an approach where they did a lot more walk it up, take a little more time, throw Wembanyama more on the block or put him a little more around the key and just try and have him kind of do more of feed it to the guards and the forwards and not try and, take it, walk into threes and stay on the perimeter. Because at this point, the best way to conserve energy is to slow the game down. And I know the speed and the young energy of these guards, as soon as they get it, they just want to run as fast as they can. And you saw Stephen Castle's dunk. That was one of the best playoff dunks I've seen in years. I mean, he absolutely shit on Hartenstein, and it was amazing. And these guys want to go do that. They have this energy and they want to rise to the occasion. But I would just love to see the Spurs take the old school approach and do the Tim Duncan, put it on the block, walk it around, have guys run around Wembanyama, and then just, he facilitates more passing to the perimeter or inside to guys who can jump out of the gym and maybe he's throwing the alley-oop and not just to him. But he needs to be in a position to get rebounds on offense and not be chucking threes. That's not going to –
That too.
That is an inefficient approach to them winning, and it was lazy, and that's fine for game 2. But I think the Spurs aren't winning the series unless he is taking less threes. He can make them, and you were right, Joe. He should have taken the shot in game 1, but he shouldn't have taken the shots in game 2.
So I'm excited about game 3, the prospect of old Sacramento King De'Aaron Fox playing. Looks like he's a game time decision.
Nice.
A guy like him, I just, I didn't watch enough San Antonio this year, but I would just imagine a combination of him and Wembanyama is just ridiculous. Guy's like a little firefly zooming around, and all he's got to do is just do a little push shot or send it over to Wembanyama. That's just 2 points every time.
He hit some big shots against the Wolves in that series. He was
he's clutch.
He's very important down the stretch. Yeah, they could have used his scoring for sure against OKC in the second.
They can use his ball handling even more. I mean, the Spurs, especially once Harper went down, his hamstring injury, I don't suspect he's going to be back anytime soon. They don't have a whole lot of great ball handlers in the backcourt, and that's been a big problem. They've been turning over
I think it's.
it feels like the Warriors.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that
I'm rooting for the Spurs. I don't know about you guys. I'm rooting for the Spurs. I think most of us might be.
Yeah, I think everyone's rooting for the Spurs.
Well, can I elaborate on that? I don't like Oklahoma City. I don't like their fans. I don't like this. They're just very unlikable to me. I mean, I know.
Why is that? I can't figure it out. You're totally right. They're unlikable. I don't get it.
Supersonics away. So that's unlikable. They have no tradition, and they have a bunch of jackass fans. You remember when KD would come back? They do all this weird cupcake crap and all this. their fans are horrible. I think Luca got injured, and they was like yelling at him when he's like literally injured, had to be taken out of the game. They're just Bush League fans. So that's one thing. And then
Joe, last year, I believe before the Pacers played OKC in the finals, I tested the market and I looked at who are the fattest people in America in the NBA, and I believe the Pacers I believe Indiana, Indianapolis, and OKC were two of the fattest cities in America, and I just don't equate that to good fans.
I don't know. I don't know. Chicago in the winter breeds some heavy folks.
Yeah,
Wisconsin people get pretty heavy.
They're city folk. Fans. They're city folk. They're much thinner.
I don't know where this went wrong.
Hercules Dan says, "Oh, and the Thunder stole our mascot, Thunder. The Warriors mascot.
Yeah. Why did he have Thunder?
He came to Portola to my junior high school and did like a trampoline show. The guy was a touring school mascot with his big Thunder lightning bolt head.
That was unbelievable that the Warriors decided to have a mascot and put him in blue, Blue Man Crew leggings,
blue and orange.
Yeah, kind of looked like the foot, like the Ninja Turtles. Kind of have that.
It's so funny how those jerseys now are thought of as these cool retro jerseys. They were so awful hideous when we were kids. We're like, oh, even kids knew, like, what the hell are the Warriors doing? What's this rebrand about?
Silhouette of that guy, it made no sense.
Yeah, that's the lightning
Cohen
bolt. I was like, it was very odd.
Cohan or whatever, Chris Cohan Warriors.
Well, another thing you guys I want to talk about is how special it is to watch this Wembanyama guy. Like, as a sports fan, it feels like a once in a decade type of deal where you get such a specimen. You get a Tiger Woods,
even
you get a LeBron James.
Once in a decade, even more.
I mean, maybe. And I mean, I worry he's 7'7", 7'4" on paper, but he's like, I don't know how long this guy's going to last. So I feel like watching him just dominate like he did in game one was just so incredible. And not only is he physically gifted, he's tall, he's athletic, he's skilled with the ball, hand-eye coordination, he can shoot, but he's also got the killer instinct.
Yes.
So the way he just fought ferociously, played how many minutes? 48 or so minutes in game one, and just was there for the kill. Like, that guy's a competitor, and combined with that body and skill set, it's just out of control.
He has the old school juice in him. Like, he's old school. His mindset is real gritty. He hustles. There's nothing. I mean, I love
dives on the court at 75.
I thought he was going to break in half. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And he's throwing elbows at Naz Reid, getting kicked out of games. I mean, the guy has some fire in him. It's really fun to watch, and I hope he doesn't get injured. But yeah, at that size, it seems like he's already put on quite a bit of muscle compared to how he was a couple of years ago. He looked like he was.
I mean, if he can set himself up like the Greek Freak, and become the French Freak or whatever we're going to call him, there's no reason why
he's got like 7 inches.
Kevin Durant also, granted, he has like 6 inches on Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was even skinnier when he came out of Texas. So it's very feasible. I mean, he's long. He's extremely flexible. If you haven't seen some of those things that he's able to do.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of the right amount of muscle mass to complement so that he doesn't blow out at ACL.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine this guy winning, 5 championships in a row. He's that talented. Like, and you put some of these other young guys with him. Like, how do you beat it?
I remember texting you guys. I think it was the game 1 against Minnesota. I was kind of exaggerating, but I was like, we are witnessing who will become the greatest champion in pro sports ever. And he gives you that feeling sometimes. Like, we might be watching like the dopest, most freakish athlete we've ever seen in our lives. So far, it's just flashes. It's not a consistent domination throughout all games, but he's well on his way. He's very young.
Pretty consistent on defense.
Yeah.
And, just stand by the hoop, he can accidentally put down 25.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Wembanyama has all the skills, but in the NBA, using all of them is really hard. He needs to figure out a few shots he can make really consistently, like the Tim Duncan bank shot,
Kareem Hook.
But he needs your Kareem Hook, your Hakeem Glass,
Dream Shake. Yeah.
Kareem, or Elijah Wan also had the kind of the fadeaway along the baseline. You got the weird Chris Paul where he always runs to the sideline, the baseline, and does his little fadeaway.
Shaq had a nice jump hook.
Yeah, but every player needs to develop these 3 to 4 shots on the court that they want to get to, and if they get to it, they're hyper efficient. Right now, he's trying to do too much, and I think that's just because he's young and he's not trying. Just hasn't figured it out yet. But if he figures that out, he's going to have such an easy time because he's just going to know I'm going to get to my shot, and I know where those places are, and I know how to read the court, and I know how to set up the shot with other guys on the court. It's not a hard, complicated thing when you have the skill set he has. He just hasn't. It isn't there yet. Yeah. I hope he gets to it because it's going to be pretty amazing when it's unstoppable now.
Yeah,
God,
well,
it's scary.
It's getting there. It'll probably get there soon. So you want to close out with a little Niners? Did you want to talk about that thing you sent me from your boy D. Bruce?
Yeah, Damon Bruce had a long riff yesterday about why Shanahan is not going to be fired by Jed York. Why all Niner fans have overreacted to Shanahan and all of the letdowns and draft picks and the loss in Super Bowls and yada, 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 yada. I sent it over to Jake because Jake is a notorious Shanahan hater.
Not a hater. I'm critical.
Not a hater. Very critical of Shanahan because he's a Nepo baby. Very critical of Shanahan because, that's not because.
Yeah, sure. That's part of it. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's part of it. But the reality is Jake sees Shanahan as having a chip on his shoulder, someone who can't get over the neurosis that he has. And he's called it out many times as being the part of Shanahan that's always going to lead the Niners to a loss in the Super Bowl beforehand. And Damon Bruce makes all of the arguments against that by saying he's got all this high win percentages, regular season, postseason. He's not drafted particularly well, but he's drafted okay. And nobody drafts particularly well if you look at it. And we did a whole segment on that a couple of weeks ago. So I wanted to get your take, Jake. Did Damon Bruce settle you at all, or do you still feel exactly the same?
I feel exactly the same as I did. Most of what he said is stuff I admit. I'll openly say Kyle Shanahan is a good football coach. He's really good with quarterbacks. He's good at scheming, especially the beginning of games. The one thing I really disagree with Damon Bruce is that he said the Chiefs were clearly the better team in the Super Bowl both times. In that second Super Bowl, the 49ers were clearly the better team than the Kansas City Chiefs, and that wasn't close. They had the best roster in the NFL by a mile. The Chiefs that year had a really soft schedule to get into the Super Bowl, and they weren't that good of a regular season team. And the 49ers were loaded. Every position was loaded. So it sounded to me like Damon Bruce got paid off to give this out of nowhere 20-minute glaze session of Kyle Shanahan. It seemed totally out of pocket and out of the clear blue. I don't know where it came from. I don't know what the occasion was. Yesterday, out of nowhere, he decides to say how amazing Kyle Shanahan is. What the hell are you talking about? All the things that have been Kyle's downfall are still there, and I think they've been amplified after this draft. He's Artie and Zach and I were talking about it. He wants to be more of a face of the organization. He wants to be involved with media more, which are really bad looks for a guy who's been around 10 years. And Damon Bruce kept saying any other team in the NFL's fan base, except for 2 or 3, would be happy with winning and not getting the ultimate prize, the Super Bowl. Well, we're not any other team, dude. We're the San Francisco 49ers. I'm sorry that there's a standard of excellence that you have to meet. And if you're not meeting it, there should be a cost to that, or at least some admission of not meeting it. These guys that don't give an admission of not getting there and not, identifying with the fan base, we blew it in the Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan didn't say we blew it in the Super Bowl. He gave some bullshit excuse that he didn't know the overtime rules, ran out Brock Purdy to throw 3 incomplete passes after getting there from running the ball all year. I mean, he's done so many things that go against just the instincts of guys who follow every play of the 49ers, and he creates a lot of that success. And then for some reason, he gets in his head and blows all of that success when it counts the most. And I still have that problem with him, obviously. And I think lots of other 49ers fans are realizing now too. And it seems like the Niners paid off Damon Bruce out of nowhere. Just talk about how amazing John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are, because I did not get that.
Ed York got in his DM.
Someone slid in his DMs. That was bizarre.
Okay. So a little quick, because I want to hear what Joe has to say in response to that. But Jake, just to clarify, would you fire Shanahan because of the performance over the last, whatever it's been 9 years now? Would you fire him over that, and no. Who else would you possibly hire? Because that's the argument right now that Damon Bruce is saying is like, yes, the success isn't what you want. Yes, you want Super Bowls, but you've had a lot of success. And as a football fan, wouldn't you rather have what you have than potentially take the risk of becoming, say, the Raiders or the Jets?
Yeah.
Which could happen. Like that can happen in the NFL very quickly, overnight. And so I think that's where his argument has really staked to the claim of Shanahan may not be a Super Bowl winning coach ever, but you'd rather have winning teams than what could be the alternative.
Yeah, I if someone's never going to be a Super Bowl winning coach and he coaches my franchise for his whole life, no, thank you. Also, my thing is he has just gotten more and more power over the organization. I think instead of firing him, stop giving him final say in everything, and stop giving him this supremacy to select whoever he wants in the draft with no checks. Like, there's a system of no checks and balances with Kyle Shanahan, and I don't want him to be the 49ers dictator right now. I need him to have other people, other football people who can get in his ear and say no to some of the stupid shit he does.
Democratize the Niners.
Exactly.
Right, Joe, I want to hear what you have to say.
I don't know. I think Jake is something happened to him with Shanahan that really just. I think Kyle Shanahan is an excellent football coach. He put on a masterclass last year. He was incredible. Honestly, he was great. He was fantastic.
Saleh? Ever hear of him?
What did you say? Tom Sula? What'd you say?
Robert Saleh. Robert
Saleh earned himself a head coaching job. He did fantastic too.
Maybe he should be the head coach of the Niners.
I know. I honestly think he had a really good year last year. For what he had a really good year last year. I do agree that the front office is not top tier. I think John Lynch is. I don't know why he's rated the way he is, but I don't see what he does that's so special. And I can't tell you that Shanahan is linked directly to all the front office moves like you do. That he's all great and powerful.
He is. That's officially in writing.
I know you said that's official. I'm just I'm not positive that's exactly what's happening. I usually think he would be the football coach and John Lynch would be the one managing the players. And I doubt the management of the players, whether that's Lynch or some kind of combination of the two. So I think what Shanahan does on the football field is exceptional. And I would not want many other football coaches. There's one thing he does that is a little bit iffy. He gets a little bit tight sphincter at the end of the game. And he kind of loses track about, what the game plan is and what the clock management is. But otherwise, he is a really good football coach, incredible offensive mind, and does some incredible things, especially with our backup quarterback, miscellaneous players. He can make them look really good.
Okay, that's the part I want to segue on. Jake, how much do you think Shanahan sandbags his own team so that he can play coach from a worse team to do what he did last year, which is have a great season because he had so many injuries and bad players? Do you think that's intentional, or do you think Shanahan just appreciates the opportunity to play with less to outperform? Because when he has to play with more, he shudders at knowing that he has to now perform, or he's looked down upon as being you performed because you had all the talent, like he did against the Chiefs in 2022.
Yeah,
or sorry, 2023.
I'm not insane. I don't think he gets guys hurt on purpose or anything, but I do think he performs better when he has the chance to up someone's game. He seems to thrive on doing that, and he's good at it. I'll admit that he's very good at getting a Kendrick Bourne out there.
He likes being the underdog.
Yeah, he'll have a Mac Jones and a Kendrick Bourne and see, look what I could whip up with these guys, and he's great at that. At the end of the day, he his killer instinct goes away when the biggest games are on the line. At the end of the day, he does have way too much say on personnel, and he is way too involved with that side, Starkey, despite what you think. It's a fact, and I think that takes away from your focus in game. It happened to like Mike Holmgren. It happened to Belichick. It happened to all these guys who get more and more power in the organization. And there was an article recently that said Shanahan has final say on every pick. He was involved in most of the early picks this year for the Niners. They were his personal picks, and he wants to be the face of the organization.
I mean, I've also read things that are different that say, Lynch and his staff are evaluating all the players, and they have a board, and they check in with me sometimes. That's their game, and they consult with Shanahan. But I don't think Shanahan is like saying, "I need A, B, and C, make it happen." I
don't think he said he needed that receiver?
I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Last question. The Niners this year are coming in without the head case distractions of a Jennings holdout, an Ayuk holdout, the Debo antics that have always kind of been around, changing numbers and blah, blah, blah. We don't have the wide receiver antics happening this year. Does that change anything in the way the Niners are presented in this season? Like, I feel like it should be more easy to gel. You have less of this distraction. Is that going to happen? Trent Williams obviously got signed more quickly. Do you think that's going to happen, or do you think there's other shit that's going to hit the fan?
We have our tight end parading around every sporting event in America every week, which is
Oklahoma City fan.
He grew up in Oklahoma City. Come on.
He's like a Nashville
He's from
Predators
Nebraska.
fan.
No, he did not grow up in
He's from Iowa.
Or was it
From
Nebraska?
Iowa.
Was it Nebraska? It was
Iowa.
Yeah. He had some.
He's from Iowa. He lives in Nashville. Apparently, he's a Sharks fan, a Predators fan, a Giants fan, of whatever. He goes to every WWE thing. He's working on his personal brand, it seems to me, like for post NFL career, and that's fine. He's getting jealous of Kelsey getting all the media
He's not
attention.
playing this year, right?
No, he's trying to make it to week 1, dude. He's at the very least playing,
What?
I think, week 5.
With a tore Achilles?
They say he's potentially could be playing week 1 or week 2.
Wow.
That would be insane. And if he
That's
does,
nothing.
eat
That's-
your
the
words,
fact that
Jake.
he's even talking
If this
about
guy gets on the field, first of all, shame on you, Jake, for talking any shit about George Kittle, who's by far, I think, the best and most favorite player other than maybe Warner.
He's just being annoying this offseason. That's it. I can be annoyed by
He's
him
not
showing
doing
up
anything.
courtside. He's showing up courtside at OKC. He's slamming beers at WrestleMania. He's going to every playoff hockey game, and he wants to be in front of the
having
camera.
a good time.
He's trying
doesn't
to
wanna have
up his
kids.
personal brand. It's obvious.
What about the 49ers do you like?
Nothing. I hate them. No, I love George Kittle.
Jake
He's
is
a
going to
beast.
love George. Yeah, I was going to say, by week 6, George Kittle's going to do something amazing, and Jake's going to take back all of the
I
whatever he
can
did in
say
the
what I
offseason.
just said and still like George Kittle. I can be critical of media appearances that are annoying. I'm sorry. 2 things can be true at once.
You're not wrong.
Thank you. Anything else? Explain that hat, Starkey. It's Memphis who?
It's the Memphis Blues. It's
Looks
a
like a
AAA. It's an old minor league hat.
Love it.
Yeah, so we got Crash Davis right here for the Bull Durham. Great movie if you haven't seen it.
Oh yeah,
My favorite sports movie.
What's his name?
Did you pick up that cap when you went to Nashville?
Nah, I've just had this puppy.
Tim Robbins plays the pitcher.
Really?
Nuke LaLoosh?
Nuke LaLoosh, yeah.
Yeah. Come on, meat.
The big airhead. Dave, Repa Das Beer Review. That shirt is Alex Dragos, our buddy's beer review company.
Yeah, Alex Dragos hasn't. I don't know how the beer reviews are going lately.
I haven't seen one in years.
He started a thing where he would, we'd buy a 30 beer box and he'd bring us all these delicious German beers.
Last year, it was so good.
Oh, so good. But I love my German Gewürztraminer from Navarro, the vineyard up in Mendocino. I can't speak highly enough of it. It's one of my favorite.
What the hell is a Gewürztraminer?
A Gewürztraminer is it's kind of a drier white wine. But it's just very drinkable. Everything at this winery is drinkable. Joe, I'm going to go ahead and sign you up for a 12-pack. You need to start drinking some of this wine. It's the best bang for your buck in the wine world. They're selling bottles for like 25 to 30 bucks a pop, and it is gold medal, silver medal, all over the place. It is some of the best wine I've ever had. I highly recommend going to Mendocino, going to the Navarro Winery. It's a super chill place to hang out. They're like family friendly. It's one of the few places that does free tastings anymore. I mean, I can't say enough good things.
Joe, are you gonna come over today?
I mean, I'm sold, buddy. Come over to Gewürztraminer.
Come to Napa. You're stepping foot on my porch. Jake's gonna finally have a drink again, and we're gonna have some Navarro wine.
Joe and Dave are gonna have a sleepover. Everybody, it's been in the works for a while.
Listen,
how'd you improve your internet, by the way, Dave? Did you get an Orbi or something?
Just use my phone.
Oh, nice. Much better. Okay.
Sometimes you got to use a little LTE. You know me.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for watching. This is a fun one. The chat line was popping off with Mungo Che Elmer for a while. I think he probably took off.
Mungo Elmer?
It's all kinds of stuff. RT. Danny, Drags, Dom, Artie, Zach, 40 era, new, whatever. I don't know. Thanks.
Ian, Andrew,
Garden,
Pit Crew.
everybody. Yeah. So let's see. What do we have coming up? Okay. So new heat check time Monday, 8 p.m. Mondays. Zachariah and I will be doing a morning show. First one is a week from yesterday. So this is next Wednesday.
I'm excited about that.
What time?
Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Me and Zachariah.
On the hump?
The hump. Welcome to the hump. Maybe we'll get the Humpty Hump dance, that Shock G Digital Underground song going. Do the Humpty Hump. Come on and do the Humpty Hump. So yeah, that'll happen next Wednesday. And then I guess we'll probably be doing Thursdays from now on. Again, because we did Fridays for a while, but Thursdays seem right.
We're doing Thursdays, we're doing Fridays. You're going to catch the Hum Daddies on a Thursday or Friday.
One way or the other. One way or the other. But everyone, have a great weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend. Go out and celebrate and honor your fallen in America's past and future. Okay. We're the Hum Daddies. Take her easy.